Just you made it. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm Andrea Callahan, and this is where we explore the inner work that becomes your outer brand. Your self-worth is your strategy. Your inner work is the practice, and your brand equity is the legacy. So what I've done is I've created an AI-powered deep dive discussion to break down the key concepts of my latest article. Immediately following that will be the full article reading. This is so if you're grabbing a cup of tea or you're doing chores or you're in the car driving home, you can explore these concepts at your own leisure. Sometimes we don't have time to read an article, so this is my way of making it convenient for you. We got to get it however we can get it, and this is my way of making sure you get it. Okay, so sit back, relax, take a listen, and let me know what you think.
Okay, welcome to the deep dive. We're jumping straight in today, looking at something really fundamental in, well, professional life. It's this tension, right? Fueled by the source material you shared with us, this kind of struggle almost everyone faces, this push and pull between wanting to hide and needing to be seen, needing recognition. Our main source today, it has a title that just grabs you, Why I Almost Deleted My Own Name and Why You Should Use Yours. And we're looking at this alongside the context it comes from, The Becoming with Andrea Callahan.
Yeah, it's a really potent combination. That title just lays bare the core problem, doesn't it? The fear of really owning your identity. And then the context of becoming, it offers a kind of structured way through it. So our mission really is to dig deeper than just the surface definitions here. We're exploring how our sense of self, our self-worth, actually shapes our professional brand, how it creates clarity or lack thereof. We need to unpack that initial fear, understand why authenticity is so crucial, and really dissect that toolkit the source mentions.
Yeah.
Self-love, soul care, and brand clarity.
Okay, let's definitely unpack that. Starting with the title, because, wow, Why I Almost Deleted My Own Name, that feels heavy. It suggests such a deep level of vulnerability, maybe self-doubt. For you listening, maybe you're putting out research or launching something new, a business, or even just voicing a strong opinion at work. What does that urge to delete the name actually look like, practically speaking?
What often looks like hiding in plain sight, maybe it's framed as modesty or, just being professional. But really, it's about shielding yourself, avoiding the fallout of ownership. It could be setting up an LLC with a name that's so vague it means nothing, or a website bio that talks about a team when it's just you.
Or that constant sort of apologizing beforehand for sharing your expertise.
Exactly that. It's like imposter syndrome made tangible. You want the project out there, but you flinch from attaching the one thing that makes it truly yours, your name, your accountability.
Right. Because putting your name on it makes it permanent somehow, accountable.
It does. It shifts you from being maybe a hobbyist, someone who can just scrap a project, to a professional whose reputation is tied to that output forever.
That's a lot of weight.
It is. And that weight, that fear of judgment, it fuels that impulse to just erase yourself, delete the name.
Yeah.
But, and this is key to the source's argument, that's precisely why the second part of the title is so vital.
And why you should use yours.
The counter-argument. Exactly. That's the pivot. In today's world, we're swimming in information, right?
Yeah.
The real currency isn't just speed or volume anymore. It's authenticity. It's trust.
And you can't build trust if you're hiding who you are.
Precisely. You can't. If you hide the source yourself, you obscure the connection. Who is the audience supposed to connect with? A ghost. Deleting your name means deleting ownership, deleting clarity.
So the tension isn't just internal, like a psychological thing. It's actually strategic. You're saying you can't get that brand clarity, that sort of magnetic pull you want, if the actual magnet you is hidden away or deliberately fuzzy.
Right. And what's really interesting is how this conflict, hiding versus owning it, really defines the struggle for anyone building influence now. It's the journey from almost deleting yourself to, well, proudly being yourself in your work. So if you're feeling stuck, if your brand or career path feels unclear, the source suggests looking inward first, at that fear, that drive towards anonymity.
Which leads us perfectly into the solution part, the framework, the Becoming with Andrea Callahan. Let's look at that summary again because the order feels really important. Self-love, soul care, and brand clarity for women ready to rise. Okay, brand clarity, that's the goal, I get that. But why start with the internal stuff? Self-love, soul care, They sound, well, a bit soft maybe. Usually when we talk about rising professionally, it's about strategy, skills, networking. Is soul care just like a nicer way of saying manage your stress better? Or is there something more specific meant here?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? And the framework's answer is pretty clear. You can't fix an identity issue with a marketing plan. The source material builds from the ground up. It argues that you can't have sustainable professional clarity until your internal foundation is solid enough to handle public scrutiny.
Okay. So break down those pillars for us.
Right. Pillar 1, self-love. And this isn't just about, positive affirmations. It's operational. It's resilience. It's self-definition. If you, listening, can't clearly define and really stand by your own value, if you don't fully accept the self doing the work.
Then the brand is built on shaky ground.
Exactly. It's fragile. The first bit of criticism, the first competitor who challenges you, and that whole structure can just collapse.
Yeah.
And you're right back to wanting to delete your name.
Okay.
So operationally, self-love is maybe the ability to confidently set boundaries around your work's value, including how you price it, for instance.
Right. So it's the anchor, the internal anchor that lets you ride out the external storms. Okay. Makes sense. But how does that connect directly to the next one, soul care? Because lots of professionals practice self-care, right? Gym, meditation.
Yeah, and this is where the source seems to draw a distinction, maybe implicitly. Pillar 2 is soul care. We need to see this specifically as the maintenance needed to sustain visibility.
Ah, okay. Not just general wellness.
Right. Standard self-care keeps you going, keeps you functional. Soul care, in this context, seems to be about replenishing the specific energy drained by putting yourself, your name, your identity out there publicly.
Because that takes a toll, being visible.
It absolutely does. It exposes you, your vulnerabilities, your opinions. It opens you up to rejection. That's inherently draining. So if you don't actively, consciously replenish that core self, if you let that well run dry.
Then putting your name out there starts to feel like punishment.
Yes. It becomes synonymous with suffering. And eventually you'll just burn out and retreat back into seeking anonymity. Soul care here is the deliberate protection of the self that has to be brave enough to own its work publicly.
Okay, I see. So self-love is the foundation, the resilient structure. Soul care is the ongoing maintenance plan preventing, structural fatigue from the stress of visibility.
You got it. Exactly. And now we arrive, logically, at pillar 3.
Hmm.
Brand clarity. This is the professional result everyone wants, but notice how it emerges. It's presented as a necessary consequence of nailing the first 2 steps.
It's not the starting point.
No. You could hire the best branding agency on earth.
Right.
But they can craft a slick mission statement. But if you haven't done that deep internal work, if this self is still shaky, still hiding, the brand they build will feel off, hollow, confusing. Inauthentic. That's the killer. Clarity comes when the outside the brand is a true reflection of the inside, that stable, defined, protected self. For you listening, this might be the core takeaway from the becoming. These aren't just steps on a ladder you climb once.
It's more like a loop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
An integrated, continuous loop. You keep investing in self-love and soul care precisely to maintain that hard-won brand clarity. It's ongoing work for sustained success.
And this is where it ties back to this specific audience mention, women ready to rise. This isn't just general life advice. The source frames it as a prescription for advancement. So for this group specifically, people aiming for leadership, more influence, higher visibility, the stakes around using or deleting your name feel even higher, right? Linked directly to how fast you can move up.
Absolutely.
What happens when you overlay this self-love, soul care clarity model onto the specific act of rising professionally?
Well, rising means standing out. It means taking up space, leading. And you simply cannot lead effectively from the shadows, from anonymity.
Right.
If your goal is to rise, get promoted, gain influence, become the voice in your field, you're actively choosing visibility, maximum visibility potentially. In that context, authenticity, truly using your name, owning your identity, it stops being a nice to have.
It becomes essential.
It becomes a non-negotiable requirement. Think about it. People don't rally behind vague, generic brands. They follow clear, resilient leaders, people who own their viewpoints, flaws, and all. So if you're truly ready to rise, the source implies you must confront and shed that fear, that almost deleted impulse.
It's fascinating how the biggest external career goals loop right back to the deepest internal work. So the becoming isn't just a nice idea. It's literally the process of knitting together these internal strengths, self-love, soul care, to build the kind of unshakable confidence you need for real external clarity and impact.
That's the whole architecture right there. That internal battle, anonymity versus authenticity, it shapes our modern professional lives. But the path to winning that battle, to achieving that lasting brand clarity, it runs directly through building that foundation of self-love and committing to the maintenance of soul care. Without those, any rise is likely to be pretty short-lived, pretty unstable.
Okay, so that brings us towards our final thought for today. We've established that using your name, really owning it, isn't just nice, it's powerful.
Yeah.
It's a non-negotiable act of branding, of identity, especially if you're aiming to rise.
Right. So here's something to really chew on, maybe as you go about your week, making decisions about your projects, your presence. Consider this. What are the actual costs, maybe in lost influence, missed opportunities, or even just the chance for um, personal wholeness, integration? What are the costs you are currently paying when you choose not to put your full name, your full self, forward? If you have the skills, the knowledge, the potential clarity, but you hold back on the ownership part, what big opportunities might you be unintentionally turning down?
That is definitely the question to reflect on. We really hope this deep dive helps you maybe move past that temptation to delete and step more fully into the power of using your name. Go use your name.
Looks like you made it through. Thank you. I know your time is valuable and you're really busy. So for you to take a few moments to listen to this article really means a lot to me. And if it resonated with you, I'd like for you to head over to my Substack where the article resides and share your thoughts in the comments. Join my community because I would love to hear your story. Share your experiences, give advice, tell me you hated it, whatever you like. I'd like to hear from you. Until we meet again, I'm sending you light love and a hug and the courage to stand tall in your authentic brilliance because you are worthy.